Let me hit record. Thank you for reminding me about that this morning, Vicky. Yes, and that Zoom thing is so annoying, and tell you what, technology. So a little bit about me. I have been working as a psychic, a medium, working with all kinds of spiritual work for 20 plus years. So I am happy to share this with you today. And my topic today has been using the chakras more with leadership and how to develop yourself in that department. So if you were thinking leadership and going, oh, do you know, I'm not leading a tribe, I'm not leading a corporation, I'm not leading that. Don't focus too much on that aspect of it. Think about it in ways that you may very well be leading, whether it's in your spiritual world, whether people are thinking of you as a thought leader, whether they're thinking of you as a leader in your specialty, whatever you bring to it, people are going to be thinking of you in that way. So how can we build on that and develop that? It could be a leader in your community, your school, your church, you know, whatever it is. But this is going to be how you can perhaps put a different spin on it, dig into it a little bit more, and bring out your best self. So the chakras, I'm sure a lot of you are just like, oh, I know the chakras backwards. You know, but this is perhaps going to give you a little bit of a different angle on them. Okay. So yes, as I said, please feel free to jump in with any questions, with any comments. Love to hear them, and perhaps I can give you a little bit of guidance for your particular situation. I would love to do that. So let's just start on the root chakra, because that seems like a good place to start. So a lot of the times, you know, you might be thinking the root chakra, it's about abundance. So if you're in business or leadership, you might be thinking, well, that's my focus. I want to bring in some more abundance. And, you know, sometimes when we get hung up on an issue, it's like hitting that wall, right? And we just hit the wall, and sometimes we just cannot see a way over it, can't find a door in the damn thing. So we set up camp at the bottom of the wall and we can't shift things. And you get all up in your own head. At least I hope this isn't just me. So we get all up in our own head and we cannot seem to get around it. So if we think about the root chakra in a different way, we don't just think it's abundance, it's money, oh my God, it's not happening. If we're thinking about it in terms of business or leadership, how could we think about it in a different way that would perhaps just get us unstuck? So the root is all about stability, safety, security. And so when it comes to your relationship with your clients or the people that you work with, are you providing that feeling for them? When you start to turn around, perhaps instead of what's coming to you, it's what you are providing for your clients or your people in that area. So do you provide that for them? Do you provide that sense of stability and safety in your relationship? Do they feel that they can trust you? Do they feel that you're a safe spot for them? Do they feel secure with you? Because, you know, a lot of the times as spiritual entrepreneurs, as you are, right, people are going to be coming to you and feeling very vulnerable, feeling very, very tender. And they're just like, how can you help me? I'm trusting you to help me. So when it comes to the root, I think it's about providing that safety and security for others. Are you providing, you know, like a clear expectation with them? Do they know what to expect from you? Are you consistent? Do they really feel like you're the rock? And when it comes to you as well, are you setting achievable goals for yourself? Because this is your stability. This is, you know, a lot of times I think we can get caught up in our heads and we're kind of like drifting along and we're like, well, this is my dream. But it's just like, okay, so are you setting achievable goals? Are you setting something which can be like something that you can check off and be like, yes, I did that? Are you setting one goal for yourself every month? and just say, yes, I can do this. This will be a huge thing if I do this. I'm going to plan it. I'm going to do it. Also, do you celebrate your successes? Because that's a huge part of this, right? To know that you are solid, that you are moving forward, and that you have that physical and tangible aspect of success that you are bringing in and that you are celebrating for yourself. Because this is the most physical of all the chakras. So let's make it physical in the celebration of what you are doing and what you are achieving, and really getting your energy flooding through here, feeling grounded, feeling just so joyful about what you've done and what you've shared with others. So if you want to jump on into the comments and let me know, what is one way that I could perhaps help you in the comments, feel more stable or secure? How do you feel like you could rejuvenate this chakra today? I do have a lovely 7-page PDF. I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can show you this. And that's going to be available in the bundle. So I'll get to that at the end. But it does have some journaling points on here. And one of the things that I've got 4 little journal areas on here for you. And it's definitely to think about what would be a challenge for you in this area. And one of them is also to write an affirmation of stability. So just watching this, perhaps on the replay or perhaps now, just think to yourself, what would be my affirmation for stability in this area today? What can I do to help my business today, my entrepreneurship? How could I help myself move forward today? Just one little thing, but how could I do that? Sometimes with business owners, this can be doing your business paperwork, because that's not always a big fan favorite, is it? But getting all your stuff, all your paperwork sorted out and freeing up your mind to go and do something more creative, more spiritual, this is what you need. You need that base. So even if you dedicate an hour a week to it, go ahead. That'll be a good start. Okay, so moving on up, we have the sacral chakra. This is all about creativity and emotions. So in terms of leadership, in terms of being a spiritual entrepreneur, how are you interacting with your clients? That's kind of how I see it here. Do you find creative solutions for your clients? This is a great chakra to dig into, and I think perhaps there's always room to expand in this area, especially when you're an entrepreneur and running your own business, because it's like, how creative can you get? You know, do you excel at like out-of-the-box solutions? So I do find with this audience, I'm sure that you are going to be more of a creative group, because you are more in tune, you are all working on intuition. So when you, instead of just having that, you know, set menu list of what you do, I'm sure that you're tuning in and going, you know what, people keep asking me for this instead, you know, or they keep coming up with this issue. How can I fold this in to what I'm currently doing, to what I'm currently offering? And even if you're just like, oh, you know, this is what I do, I've got this mindset, but perhaps people are looking for something slightly different. And you can bring that in and just find that you're just so much richer on it and what you offer. So with the creativity too, I feel like part of that you can be working on is looking for creative solutions, and looking for creative opportunities. So perhaps it's doing something like we're doing today. You know, we're doing this free summit, and we're getting out to talk to new people and getting out in front of new audiences, and we're sharing things. And, you know, you as an audience, this is you sharing in this creative, this opportunities. And it's just a big ocean of ideas. And how can you tap into that? So that's what we need to focus on with this sacral chakra area. And think as well, when you do this, when you are really tapping into your creative expression, think how much you're inspiring others. Instead of being nervous and going, oh, I don't know if I got it right, just think that someone listening to you is just like, wow, that really inspired me today. I hadn't thought of it quite like that. So get over that hurdle and get out and just start talking to people, because I know that you've all got so much to share in all your different specialties and areas, and people really want to listen to you. So one of the things on the little journaling sheet could be like, well, this is a challenge for me, but, and then there's another one that says in the next 7 days, I'm going to do whatever it is. So just set yourself a little goal today and just see how you can start to shift that needle for yourself, and see how you are, you know, perhaps if you get a friend, a truthful friend, to look at your social media and to your website and kind of do a little bit of an audit for you. And I'm sure there's some people on here that do to do that as a business. So please let everyone know if you do. Get them to do an audit of your stuff. Because, you know, sometimes when you've written it and you've put it out there, it helps to have another set of eyes on it to see if you are really coming through with the passion that you have for your business expressed on your online self. So get someone to look at it, and they might be like, oh, do you've got on there that you do this, but it's just a little paragraph. And, you know, whenever I talk to you, you just like bore the socks off me for half an hour about this particular thing that you do, but that's just not coming through on your website. So take a look, get a friend to take a look and reassess the stuff that you've got out there and see if it's really expressing the passion for what you do as a business. Do you have on your stuff the reason for why you're doing what you do, how you got into it? How can you express that to people? So that is a great way to work with this chakra, to really start expressing that passion and creativity and get out and show people, this is why I'm leading in this field, and this is why I am so excited about whatever it is for you. Okay, so let's move on up to the lovely yellow solar plexus chakra. Okay, so this is a really joyful color, right? The solar plexus is all about clarity and confidence. So when it comes to leadership, when it comes to working with this, I think that it is about your ability to take confident action. You know, if you look at it in a more traditional sense, you can say it's about self-esteem, this chakra, and it is. And of course, that comes into it as well. But this is about confident action. Are your clients confident about your achievements? Are you confident about your achievements? That might be part 2, but are your clients confident about what you can do? Have you expressed it confidently on your website, on your social media? When you talk to people, do you tell them what you do? You know, you don't want to be talking to them and they go, oh, that's okay. And then them to look at your stuff and come back later and go, hey, you didn't tell me you were featured in the newspaper, you were featured online, you did this, that, and the other. Tell them, tasteful way, but like, let them know, hey, this is what I do. Have you even, have you documented and promoted those achievements? Do you have like perhaps a list of what you've done that is like, yes, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. So people can because you want to feel confident in yourself, but you also want people to feel confident in you. Because it comes back to that root chakra thing, right? People have to trust you, especially in the spiritual entrepreneur business, because it is a very vulnerable thing. When we go looking for services, and I do this myself, I'm looking for someone that I can trust. I'm looking for someone who will be really looking out for my best interest, who will be looking to help me step up to the next stage. So how can you do that for others? How can you inspire confidence? The clarity part of this chakra, I think, comes in with expressing clearly what it is that you do. And sometimes, you know, we think we're doing it, but let's go back and review and just say, yes, okay, I did state really clearly that's what I do. And when people talk to you, they will come away with that. It can be like the elevator speech, you know, that people always talk about, you know, get it down in just like a few minutes and just be like, yes, this is exactly what I do. But work on that. Really feel into it and get your energy behind it. Get really specific. The other part of this too, I think, is having the clarity and the confidence to be really decisive and make those tough decisions. So this happens all the time in business. You know, if you are headed on a certain trajectory and you're just like going all for it, and then you're just like, it's just not working quite the way I thought it was going to work, then just have that little kind of moment with yourself and be like, you know, this is a tough decision, but this isn't working quite the way I thought it was going to work. So I'm just going to pivot a little bit. I'm going to take that decisive action and I'm going to turn it just a smidge and just start it heading in another direction, which is going to be better aligned for myself and for my clients. And then see if that starts to shift things, because there's no point in keep going on a track that's just not the best one for everybody. And things change, you know, especially I think in the spiritual entrepreneurship world. We are learning constantly. We're constantly developing with spirit. We're constantly learning from our clients. I know I always am, and bringing things in. So it's just like, how do I reassess? Because to be honest, if you're at the same place now as you were 3 years ago, then you haven't been doing enough personal development. So get out and do some of that, because you've got to keep learning as you go along. And yellow I always associate with learning. You know, if you see a lot of yellow in the tarot cards, shows you got to learn a lot of learning coming up. Okay, so yeah, any questions, just go ahead and drop them in the comments for me. Okay, so moving on up to the heart chakra. This is such a pivotal point, I think, for a spiritual entrepreneur. And this is about love and gratitude. It's about your state of emotions. It's about whether you are calm at the heart of the storm. So how are you showing up to your business and to your life? Are you feeling that calm at the center of the storm? Do you feel just so centered? Do you feel so, do you feel calm? Do you feel gratitude? Do you feel peace? Do you feel compassion? Those are the things that are just so important for you, as you know, as a leader, as we're talking about leadership, to step into. So even if everything is falling apart all around you, even if your business, your life is not going quite exactly as planned, because, you know, when does it ever really? Even if it isn't, it's just like, how do you stay calm at that center of things? How do you feel that sense of alignment and have faith that it is going to move forward in the right direction somehow and eventually? And what can you do? But you remain calm in that moment and do not get disheartened. It's like disheartened, and this is the heart chakra, right? I know. So it's just like, how do you stay aligned with that? It is really difficult. You know, I know we always talk about, you know, gratitude lists, but, you know, sometimes when things are just going not at all in the way that you planned, and then you sit down to write a gratitude list and you're like, really? I don't know what I'm putting down here. Try and find a little bit of something. Just try and find a little bit of something to start that wellspring of positivity and gratitude, and that kind of sense of alignment with spirit coming back. And then that will start to buoy you up and get you back on track. Part of this too, sorry if you can hear my dogs barking, part of this too is being compassionate in your business interactions. Because have you ever been to someone and you really have not felt that they were compassionate or empathic with you? That makes such a huge difference, especially in this field. You really can't underestimate that. Do you provide extra value for your clients? You know, if someone comes to see you and you're like, oh, you know, hey, here's your service, whatever you do. But then do you go the extra mile? That's all to do with this chakra. So, you know, if that person comes to you and they're just like, oh, well, and you know, they need a little bit of help with something else, and maybe that's something you can get back to them afterwards with, you know, maybe it's a book recommendation or a website link that, you know, or, you know, or you're like, but, you know, I feel like this would really help you. Hey, here's a person I know, and I'm going to send you to them. I'm going to send you their details because maybe they can really help you out. You know, and that's really a lot of the fun of doing a summit like this, because with this many different speakers all doing such amazing different things, there's going to be something for everybody here, you know? So it's just going to be like, if I can't help you with this, but you know what? I just met such and such who can help you. And that's something that we can all do in our everyday life. You know, hey, did you try this? This might really help. Because I think that's part of our role as spiritual entrepreneurs and just human beings, to be honest. But just how can we help people on their journey? How can we help them to the next step? That's really what it's about. So do your clients know that you appreciate them? You tell them. Do they feel better for working with you? And how do you give back? How do you give back? Do you volunteer? Do you do something for charity? Do you schedule a certain amount of time on your calendar every month for doing something at no charge, for donating a service? How do you give back? Because being a spiritual entrepreneur, or just being human, is about creating that two-way street. So important. So next we have the throat chakra. And I'm sure it won't shock you to learn, this is all about communication, you know, and it's about listening. But when it comes to leadership or running a business, or even just in life, really, it's talking about apply it to all communications, not just speaking as it's sometimes presented, but this is about listening. Do your clients feel heard? Do they know what you offer? You know, if I go to your website, do you have a list of 20 different things, or do you have a list of one? You know, do people really know what you do? Are you expressing it? Are you asking your clients for feedback? And do you listen to it if you do? Are you taking that on board? Can you verbally share your excitement about what you're doing? Can you clearly articulate your vision about what you do? Do you know what you do? Do you express what you do? And this too is also about being honest about your business promises. Do you make it clear to everyone what you're doing, how you can help them? Do you make it clear how you can help people? Because this is in terms of leadership, you can also think to yourself, do I deliver an authenticity in what I do? Do I deliver integrity in what I do? And look at all the avenues of communication that you have. And perhaps it's time to broaden that. You know, sometimes, you know, the online world is of course absolutely fabulous. Look what we're doing this week. But, you know, have you perhaps dropped in-person stuff? Do you go to any in-person networking? Do you meet people in person? When, you know, do you reach out and do things in a different way. That's your challenge for this week. How can I share this? How can I communicate better with what I do? And there's lots of different ways of looking at it. And I know that people have been talking a lot about, the AI and some, how some of the writing with that is not as, personable. But it's fun to play with because you can, put your stuff in there and have it redone into AI, and then you can kind of compare the two and perhaps merge the two, because you want some of your human voice, you want some of your messaging, you want your essence in there, but sometimes that can just really break through writer's block, or perhaps give you different ideas, and just be like, oh yes, I hadn't thought about using that phrasing, or I hadn't thought about using that word. So it's about playing with your messaging. It's about playing with that, and it can help overcome that barrier. So you might just give that a try as well. So moving on up to the third eye chakra. This one is associated with intuition and insight. So this might seem like, how do I bring this into my business? How do I bring this into my leadership? How do I bring this into my spiritual entrepreneur journey? Well, how are you using your intuitive wisdom to grow your business? This is about fearlessly using your intuitive insights to step forward. If you look at some of the biggest corporate leaders in the world, they actually spend a great deal of their time perhaps reading, looking at other ideas in their day. They're not spending all day long doing paperwork or working with clients. They are allocating a lot of spare time during their day to look at different intuitive ways, different ideas, and different things that they can, percolate on and bring into their business. And so how are you doing that? Have you joined a business book club? Have you looked at sites to get recommendations for how to move forward with that? And perhaps in different ways. And sometimes we've got to, like if you're doing healing work, for example, sometimes you might get the urge when like one of your clients starts talking to you about, okay, for example, I've been teaching Reiki for over 20 years. So if a client comes to you for a Reiki session and they're just like, oh, well, and then, because this happened to me last week, and they're talking very specifically about stuff that they had going on and wanting to move forward. Well, there's a lady I know in Colorado who's working more specifically with medical Reiki stuff. So it's just like, let's start talking about that. And then that's something to start learning more about, or going back and learning, because you're never done with learning, ever. So when people start talking to you about certain things, like use your intuitive wisdom to tap into that and be like, do I need to learn more about that? Do I feel the urge now to go back and go, yes, that is where I need to bring that in? Okay, I'm not sure what just happened. I'm not sure if I'm live. Okay, so it's like how to bring that in. Do you have a clear vision or a clear plan? Can you see your business succeeding? Because this is about sight, right, as well. It's about your clear sight, intuitive sight. Can you see it going forward? Do you have a clear vision or a clear plan for that to move forward? So if you don't, then jot down some goals, jot down a plan, and get some steps going there. So moving on to the last, the crown chakra. This one is about empathy and purpose. It can certainly be about more spiritual or divine connection. There's certainly that. But in terms of leadership, let's think about it as do you inspire a sense of being part of something greater for others? Do you, in your leadership role, provide a sense of wisdom or the ability to create connect to a greater vision, because that's what people are going to be looking to you for. As an entrepreneur, people want to know that you are connected to something greater. They want to know that you have a vision of something greater for you, for the world, for them. They want part of that. Part of this too is most certainly bringing in a non-judgmental approach to your work. Creating detachment in your work. This is part of something bigger, right? Does your business and your belief, does your business align with your core beliefs and values? Are you really expressing that in your work? Are you investing in that professional development we just talked about? And are you being inspired every day? Because that is the most important thing. This is your business. This is your revolutionary journey. And how can you best do that? Because when you are lit up and inspired, as you know, you're going to do that for others. So I really hope this has given you some insights and perhaps ways that you could step forward in your revolutionary leadership journey, and perhaps use the chakras to consider that in a slightly different way and bring some of those points forward. The PDF will be in the bundle, or reach out to me. So I look forward to seeing some responses on that. I hope this has helped you. And at the end of this summit, there's going to be a bundle available, which will be a combination of all the incredible speakers and the trainings for you to access. And some of the proceeds are going to charity, which I believe is the Veterans Retreat. So thank you so very much for being here today or watching this on the replay. Thank you. And I look forward to hearing your response. Thanks.